The wind wailed across the Montana plains, a lonesome howl that rattled the windows of Tom Arland's weathered ranch house. Inside, by the dim glow of a kerosene lamp, Tom sat hunched in a creaky rocking chair, his 6-month-old daughter, Lily, trembling in his arms. Her cries, once fierce, had weakened to desperate whimpers, her tiny body aching with hunger no store-bought formula could sate. 2 weeks had passed since Sarah, Tom's wife of a decade, was stolen by a merciless fever, leaving him, a rugged rancher of 37 with hands calloused from roping cattle, to face fatherhood alone. The ranch, sprawling under the vast big sky, had once echoed with Sarah's laughter, but now it felt like a hollow shell, each creak of the floorboards a reminder of her absence. Tom rocked Lily gently, his throat tied with grief. "Hang on, sweet girl," he whispered, though doubt gnawed at him. The nearest town was 40 miles away, and Lily's refusal to eat left him stranded in despair, praying for a miracle he wasn't sure would come. Tom was no stranger to hardship. Born on this very ranch, Eddie inherited it from his father, who'd wrested it from the wilds of Montana's frontier. The land was his lifeblood, acres of rolling pasture, a sturdy barn, and a herd of cattle that barely kept the bank at bay. Sarah, a painter from Seattle with a spirit as bright as her canvases, had brought color to his world. They met at a barn dance, her city grace twirling among hay bales, and married under a canopy of stars. Lily was their joy, born after years of longing, but Sarah's sudden death had shattered their dreams. Now, as Tom cradled his daughter, her hunger a relentless torment, he felt the weight of his failure. Eddie tried everything, warm bottles, goat's milk from the barn, but nothing worked. The isolation of the ranch, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison. A sharp knock at the door sliced through the nicht's quiet, startling Tom. Strangers were rare out here, the nearest neighbor was a 2-hour ride away. Clutching Lily, he shuffled to the door, peering through the small, frosted pane. A woman stood on the porch, silhouetted against the moonlight, her breath puffing in the chilly air. She wore a faded denim jacket, jeans, and a scarf loosely tied around her dark hair. A backpack rested at her feet, and her posture spoke of weariness but resolve. Tom opened the door a crack. "You lost, ma'am?" he asked, his voice rough from days of silence. Her name was Maria Alvarez, she said, a farm worker who'd been drifting through the Northwest, picking up seasonal jobs. "My truck broke down a couple miles back," she explained, her accent hinting at roots in central Mexico. "Fuel pump, I think. I saw your light and hoped for a phone or a lift to town." She was in her early 30s, with worn brown eyes that caught Lily's faint cry and softened instantly. Tom hesitated, then invited her in, the code of the plains urging hospitality despite his caution. As Maria stepped into the kitchen, the lamplight revealed lines of fatigue on her face, but also a quiet strength. "Sis hungry," Maria said, nodding toward Lily. Tom's voice broke as he shared his plight, Sarah's passing, Lily's refusal to feed, his own helplessness. Maria listened, her gaze steady, then asked, "Can I hold her?" Tom handed over his daughter, a flicker of trust born of desperation. Maria settled at the table, her movements gentle but sure. She didn't say it then, but Maria carried her own unspoken grief. A year ago, in a small Idaho clinic, she'd lost her newborn son to complications, a tragedy that left her body producing milk for a child no longer there. She'd been traveling alone since, working orchards and ranches, her loss a private wound she nursed in silence. Now, as Lily squirmed in her arms, Maria felt a tug at her heart. With a glance at Tom for permission, she adjusted her blouse and offered her breast. Lily latched on immediately, the soft sounds of nursing filling the room like a hymn. Tom's knees buckled, he sank into a chair, tears streaming down his weathered cheeks. It was a miracle, raw and tender, delivered by a stranger. Over cups of black coffee, they shared fragments of their lives. Tom spoke of Sarah's paintings, still hanging on the walls, vibrant landscapes that captured the soul of Montana. He described their dreams of raising Lily to know the land, to ride horses and chase fireflies. Maria opened up about her journey from Guanajuato, where her family still tended a small plot of corn. She'd come to the States chasing work to support her aging parents and younger brother, but the loss of her son had left her adrift, her milk a daily reminder of what might have been. As Lily fed contentedly, Tom felt a shift, a realization that his isolation wasn't absolute. Maria's act of kindness, so selfless, cracked open the fortress of his grief. But then came an unexpected twist. Maria admitted she'd been heading to a dairy farm job in Idaho, but her truck's breakdown felt like fate. "Maybe I was meant to find you," she said, her voice barely audible, as if testing the weight of her own words. The night deepened, and Tom offered Maria the guest room, a small space with a quilt Sarah had sewn. Morning brought a new challenge. A storm had rolled in, dumping snow that buried the dirt road to town. Maria's truck, even if repaired, wouldn't they make it through? "Stay till it clears," Tom urged, and she agreed, her presence already a balm to the ranch's emptiness. Over the next days, Maria became Lily's lifeline, nursing her with a tenderness that eased Tom's fears. In return, he taught her the rhythms of the ranch, how to check the cattle for winter readiness, how to mend a gate battered by the wind. They cooked together, Maria introducing chili-spiced stews that warmed the soul, Tom sharing Sarah's recipe for cornbread. Their conversations grew deeper, weaving stories of loss and resilience, of dreams deferred but not abandoned. A week in, another twist tested their fragile bond. A sudden blizzard trapped a dozen of Tom's cattle in a far pasture, their lowing faint through the howling wind. Tom prepared to ride out alone, but Maria insisted on joining him, bundling up in one of Sarah's old coats. Together, they battled the snow, herding the shivering animals to safety. Exhausted, they returned to the house, hands numb but spirits lifted by their shared triumph. That night, as they sat by the fire, Maria confessed, "I haven't felt useful since I lost my bow. Helping you, helping Lily, it's like I'm finding my way back." Tom nodded, his voice thick. "You're not just helping, Maria. You're saving us." The emotional climax came one quiet evening, as Lily slept soundly for the first time in weeks. Tom and Maria sat on the porch, the sky ablaze with stars. "I thought I'd lost everything when Sarah died," Tom said. "But you showed me there is still good in this world." Maria's eyes glistened. "And you gave me a reason to keep going. I thought my heart was empty, but Lily, sis filled it again." In that moment, they decided Maria would stay through the winter, not out of necessity but choice. Her milk sustained Lily, but her presence restored Tom's hope. They built a routine, Maria tending the small garden Sarah had loved, Tom teaching her to whittle small toys for Lily. Their bond wasn't romantic, it was deeper, a partnership rooted in mutual healing. By spring, the snow melted, and Maria's truck was ready, but she lingered, reluctant to break the fragile family day they formed. When she finally left for Idaho, it was with promises to return. Tom, inspired by her selflessness, started a community fund at the local church, helping other struggling families with supplies and support. Lily grew into a bright toddler, her first words a mix of English and Spanish Maria had taught her. The ranch bloomed again, wildflowers returning to the creek where Sarah rested. Years later, Maria came back for Lily's 5th birthday, her own life now stable with a small farm of her own. As they sat under the stars, Lily playing nearby, Tom raised a glass. "To kindness," he said, "and the strangers who become family." Maria smiled, her heart full. Their story, whispered among the Montana hills, became a testament to humanity's power, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, a knock at the door can bring light, binding us through acts of selfless love.